time for a short recap. One or none of your units has entered the grid, you have done movement for all of your units, all active elements of the board in question have been triggered, units have taken aim, and now, finally, Angriff! It is time to attack. In the previous phase, units may have taken aim at other units or entities over those positions directly adjacent to their only share, thus marked them as targets, and each of these targets has now a value for defense, which defines how many points of damage it can absorb. So, to defeat a target's defense, you have to hit it with more than that, you have to overpower it. To now perform an attack, for every target aimed at, you roll a dice for each of the attacking units. 1 or 2 reduces the individual unit's attack strength by 1 point. 3 or 4 does not change it. And rolling 5 or 6 adds 1 additional point of damage. After you have determined the number of points of damage that have been dealt by every unit attacking the target, you simply count them together, and if this total number exceeds the number of points of defense of the target, well, then the attack was successful and destruction will be applied to the target in the last phase of the turn. Not in this one, at least in theory, for in the attack phase the actual attacks will be performed only to determine if they were successful or not, but more about this later. First, let's have 2 3-3-3s pitted against each other. It is Red's turn, and if Red rolls a 1 or a 2 for her unit, this would mean -1 for an attack strength of 3 minus 1 equals 2, which does not exceed the defensive value of 3 of the target survives. If Red rolls 3 or 4, then there is 0 change. 0 plus minus 3 plus minus 0 equals 3 still does not exceed the defensive value of 3, and this would mean that in this case the target survives also. If Red, however, rolls a 5 or a 6, then this would mean +1 attack strength, or 3 plus 1 equals 4, which indeed does exceed the target's defensive value of 3. There is more damage than the target can absorb, and the attack was successful. But what if Red attacked the one blue unit not with 1, but 2 3-3-3s? Well, in that case, Red wouldn't even have to roll a dice, because even in the worst case scenario, -1 for each attacking unit, 2 plus 2 equals 4 still exceeds the target's number of points of defense of 3. This attack has a 100% chance of success. If Red with that 3-3-3 unit faced a 2-5-2 unit, however, with 5 points of defense, there is no chance of success with one single 3-3-3, because even a +1 dice roll, 4 is still far away from being greater than 5. If Red used 2 3-3-3s, the chances are vastly different, and here, because it is an example, let us go through the probabilities in greater detail. As you can see, the attack would succeed in 6 out of 9 cases, or with a 2/3 probability. If Red, however, faced a 0-7-2, then the attack succeeded only if Red rolled +1 for both units. Solution? Maybe add another 3-3-3. But what if Blue has built a front line and there is simply no space to attack with 3 units? Mind that in order to be able to aim at the unit, the position the attacker stands on and the one of the target need to have at least one position directly adjacent to both the positions occupied by those units, so use stronger attackers maybe, which means that you have to make concessions in either defense or speed of the units, which has other implications. 9 Points is a strategy board game after all.